Hello. Come on in and get comfortable. We are going to be talking about something this evening that I'm sure is on quite a lot of you guys' minds. And it's something that for me is very interesting. It's also something that seems to be a catalyst for something else. I have received a lot of messages and I have been very unsure of whether or not I should deliver them. But first, I'm going to introduce myself to you guys. If you don't know who I am, my name is Casey Nicole. Hello, nice to meet you. If you're new here, be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe, because over here we catch the vibe. And I want you guys to be able to catch this vibe. But I am your cosmic liaison here this evening to talk to you guys about this very important message. And if you've seen the title of this video, you probably are thinking, this girl must be crazy. She must be insane to make such a declaration. And I may be. I don't presume to be anything other than a human being. I don't presume to be all knowing, but I do feel like there are certain things that I want to speak on, and I should have the right to speak about those things. Now, in case you've never come across me or any of my work, I am your cosmic liaison who, through a heightened intuitive connection to Source, helps you break cycles, toxic patterns, and generational curses one conversation at a time. And tonight we are having an important conversation about the 2024 presidential election in the United States between two of the most pivotal people I feel like are in the media at this time. There's other people who are involved in the election and there's other candidates, but these are the two candidates that are receiving the most press and getting the most attention and having the most reaction from the public. And I feel that this is a very important topic because not only is this presidential election going to change the face or reality of America, but it's also going to change the face and reality of the world. And for those of you who may be in different countries, I do not presume to make assumptions about your country or the involvement of your country with the United States. I know nothing about policies really past what affects me. And I want you to know that everything I say this evening is about my desire for people as a whole, no matter where you're from and no matter who you are, to have equality and health and wealth and peace. So I have to say these disclaimers before I give you this message because this is what we call a channeled message. And it's something that came to me that I feel like Source, God, the Most High, whoever you believe in, wants me to express to the public. You guys need to get ready. Please, 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 please get ready. And in the title of this video, I said Donald Trump will be the 2024 presidential election winner. Okay. I guess I need to change that. Let's see. Oh no, I said Donald Trump will win the 2024 presidential election. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. So before I say what I say, I have to give this disclaimer. If there is anyone or anything that chooses to come against me, myself, or my family because of what I'm saying, there will be harsh and stiff repercussions. This is not for my ego. This has been directed to me by God. So just know that if you have any objections to what I'm saying, you're more than welcome to voice those objections in the comments. And if you have any disagreement with what I'm saying, you're more than welcome to voice that. But if there is any being, entity, or person who chooses to come against me because I'm expressing this message, you will not have to deal with me. You will have to deal with God. And that is something that I cannot control. Okay. Also, to those who are viewing and watching this message, you have a special disclaimer as well. At the moment when all comes to pass, do not be afraid. The world is a place where you can be a part of it, a place for love. Fear not, my child, for I love you. And that is directly a message from God to all of you guys who are watching, to all of you who may be caught up in the games that are being played by the American government towards its people, and for anyone else who could become affected by the symbolism of what this election means. You are safe, you are protected, and your creator wants you to know that as long as you are in the right state of mind, and as long as you remain calm and you do what is morally right, there will be no harm that comes to you. Okay? This message is definitely going to be a little bit heavy. That message to all of you to be confident and to not be afraid comes from Ribbon in the Sky. This was one of the songs that I channeled through this message. And Ribbon in the Sky is a song by Stevie Wonder. This song talks a lot about love. It speaks about finding love, and you can see the lyrics on the screen. I'll make them bigger for you guys so that you can see them, okay? Even though my face is a little in the way. Oh, so long before this night I prayed that a star would guide you my way to share with me this special day. Well, ribbons in the sky for our love. Okay, so this is a very beautiful love song, but pay attention to when it was released, 1982. Okay, so if you see the release date, 1982, if you break that down for me, how I look at numerology, a 1 and 9 is a 10. 8 plus 2 is a 10. That is 1010, which signifies an ending to a very difficult situation, or just a situation that has lasted as long as it's supposed to last. It's a situation that's run its course. Okay? Now, this message is going to be about, well, it's not going to be about this, but it's going to have connections to the moon, what's going on right now, okay? With the whole election sphere and everything that's going on. It connects to the moon, the Catholic Church, mirrors, the weather, old wives' tales, see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil, Gemini energy, or just Gemini, okay, which I'm thinking of the AI thing, Gemini, that they're, pushing on all of us. The ocean, including tides, jail or prison, incarceration, the Big Bang, vampires, or any other extraterrestrial beings or magical beings and superstitions. Okay? Now, the next song was Superstitions by Stevie Wonder. And if you guys look at the release date of Superstitions, it was 1972. Now, 1 and 9 is 10, right? 7 and 2, that's 9. And if you put 10 and 9 together, that goes to another 10 because 1 plus 9 is 10. That's 10 as well. All right. So 1972 equals a 10 for Superstitions, and Ribbons in the Sky equals a 10 for 1982. And the song lyrics speak about someone who's very superstitious, writings on the wall, very superstitious, ladders about to fall. Okay? These lyrics are very important. All right? The next song that is a part of this channel message is the intro to the Destiny's Child album, Writings on the Wall. And I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with this intro, but it was like a harp, and it was basically bringing in the album. This was released, as you can see, in 1999, which if you take 9 plus 9 plus 9, you get 27. And if you add that 1, you get 28. And what does 28 equal? Guys, it equals 10. I don't know if you understand how that, is so serious, because a lot of people who may be watching this video may not understand numerology. They may not understand the depths of spirituality or channeling. They may not even respect that particular brand of belief, and that's fine. But the way these songs came to me, without any knowing, me personally, not having any knowing of when they were released, and for all of their release dates to equal out to tens, it's very, very significant. That is not a coincidence, as is nothing in this world is a coincidence. So I wanted you to have that information real quick about those songs before I go into this message. And I'm going to break it down to you guys really quickly, just to let you know kind of what's going on, because I want everyone to be prepared for whatever it is that they need to be prepared for, because it's getting very real. And this is something that none of us can control. The wheels are in motion, and you need to be aware. Okay? Superstitions, writings on the wall. This is Jacob's ladder. Okay? Something about later. So something is happening later. This may happen a little later. Not sure what later means, but Jacob's ladder is significant here as well. The chosen ones who are not considered significant merge the energy together to increase the voltage of power from faint to strong. Endangered species. The blindness is not true, but it is. Those thought to be blind can see. Those thought to see are blind. Those that chose to see the light of day are blind. And I'm going to explain this, so bear with me. This particular portion of the message is going to sound weird, but when you are on social media and they have little memes that tell you to write one word and then click all of the suggestion words that are first in line once you type that word and see what it spells out, that's what happened in this message. They are blind and blind and blind to the light of the light of the light of darkness. And the light of the world is blind to the darkness of the light that is the light of the universe. The chosen ones are in darkness, and the sleepers are seeing the light. They do not want to see, but their eyes are forced open by forces they don't understand. Now, I was thrown off by this because I'm trying to figure out how my phone decided that it wanted to say that today. Okay, this was last night, right? Basically, there's a lot of light and darkness that is at play in our universe right now. And certain people who are able to see the light are being placed under a shield. They're being placed in a protective barrier so that they are shielded from the darkness that's about to sweep over the earth. So I'm not sure if this is just not going to affect certain people or what this is. But it was very telling that the phone said they are blind and blind and blind to the light of the light of the light. So it repeated itself 3 times for those different segments. Okay. Anyone who does not want to see the light at this time, anyone who wants to continue to perpetuate a state of darkness, they are going to see just how dark darkness can become. This is something that is out of their control and out of our control. When I say our, I mean the people who are of the light. Okay? But they're going to be forced to understand, and their eyes are going to be forced to be opened. They believe it brings suffering to believe in superstition, but suffering is already here. Time travel, so there could be some time travel about going back in time, but the mirror is broken and they can't come back. 7 years is going to be very significant. 13 months, so actually that's 8 years in 1 month. Good things in your past turn bad. Bad things of the past become good. Changing realities changes beliefs. Warriors warped reality, opposites, reversals, and basically somebody being hung upside down like the hanging man on the tarot deck. So let me explain this to you guys, because I know this may be a little bit strange and different from what I usually post. But this is about Babylon. This is about the fall of Babylon. And when I first got the message about superstition, and I was looking at the Stevie Wonder song about superstition, it was very strange to me because these lyrics are talking about something that's very superstitious, writings on the wall. And I was thinking about Destiny's Child, writings on the wall, and all these songs have the tens. So I looked up writings on the wall, and if you look at the lyrics of that song, it talks about Latoya Barzini. I want to thank you for having me organize this meeting here today. And Kelly Staraki, I also want to thank you and all the other dons of the four families. Beyonce Corleone from the Southwest, Latavia Menser from the 4-4. Our objective of this meeting today is to discuss Destiny's Child's commandments of relationships. This, when I was young, did not sound like just a song. It sounded like something deeper. Then they go on to say, it's so unfortunate, so unnecessary for us to end up with broken hearts. And then someone else, one of the girls says, yes, Godfather, times have changed. Relationships aren't like the old days, you know? See, what we need is a man of his word. All this cheating, backstabbing, hating, no more, no more. But Godfather, how do we avoid these mishaps? And then Beyonce comes in and says, it's obvious. The writing's on the wall. Thou shalt not hate. And then the song and the album starts. But I'm getting goosebumps because this is coming to me to tell you guys, this is about meetings that are going on. There are secret meetings going on. 4 prominent families are meeting, or there's 4 significant elders meeting together about the situations that are happening in the world, especially as it relates to the United States. Okay. The superstition song talked about that. And this meeting is going on because things are changing. And these people who are in control, these controlling forces, as I like to call them, are losing control of everything that they've had power over for all of these centuries. And there is a new power or a new order to things that is coming along. And I don't want to necessarily call it New World Order, but I don't think it's the same as what people have stigmatized as far as New World Order. It's just a new way of being. We're coming into the age of Aquarius. So a lot of the things that have been going on are no longer going to be going on, or it's no longer going to be able to go on the way it has been. And this group of prominent, powerful people, and it's descendants of very important people. I'm sure of that. And this is all alleged because I have no way of knowing that this is true. This is just a message that was given to me by God that I am supposed to share. However, these prominent people are trying, they're scrambling. They're scrambling trying to figure out how to keep things the way that they've been. Because if you look at the song, it says relationships aren't like the old days right here. They aren't like the old days. So basically, the way things are going, it is no longer like the old days. Things are changing. And they're trying to say what they need to keep it the way it was is a certain man, okay, a man of his word, but not necessarily in terms of this message. It's they need to pick a certain person who's going to be able to get things back to the old days. And I know a lot of you guys may know about, people talking about Project 2025 and all of these plans that they have to kind of put things back into a state of the old days, right? Causing, you know, certain new developments to basically take steps backwards. So do you see what I'm saying? That is what they're trying to do, is find a person who's going to be able to enact whatever those things are so that it can be back like it was in the old days. Okay? Now, Stevie Wonder then goes on to talk about Jacob's ladder, or the ladder's about to fall. So there's something about the ladder about to fall. And Jacob's ladder, from my research, is basically talking about a ladder in the Bible. And I'm not biblical. Let me just preface this. Well, I guess we're in it now. But let me just say, I'm not a very biblical person. I'm not necessarily a believer of every single thing that the Bible says. And I'm not going to push scripture down your throat in a way where I'm, you know, pushing it at you. But there are certain things in scripture and in the Bible that do correlate to this. So we are going to be reading some Bible verses. But Jacob's ladder was a story, I believe, in the Bible. And I'll just real quick, because I don't know if I looked that up. I looked it up on the phone, but let's see. Okay. So Jacob's ladder, if we look at this, the story of Jacob's ladder is based on a dream Jacob had in the Bible book of Genesis. And I said Gemini, but Genesis is the first, chapter. He had a dream of a ladder that reaches from the ground to heaven with angels ascending and descending on it. And what was Babylon? Well, the Tower of Babel, wasn't it? Okay. Okay. Wasn't it a situation where they were trying to reach heaven and they got a little ahead of themselves? So he talks about Jacob's ladder in the song Superstition, right? And the ladder's about to fall. So what is that to me? What does that sound like to y'all? To me, that sounds like a situation where This whole tower is about to fall down. This tower, this house of cards, okay, which I think was a Netflix series, is about to fall. And it's being referenced all over this song. Now, he talks about a 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass, 7 years of bad luck, the good things in your past. When you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition ain't the way. Okay? Then they talk about superstition, wash your face and hands, rid me of the problem, do all that you can. Keep me in a daydream. So keep me in some falsity, some illusion, something fake of the past. Keep me going strong. You don't want to save me. Sad is the soul. Okay? And then he talks about superstitions again, nothing more to say. The devil's on his way. Okay. And this looking glass, I feel like, is a part of the illusion that we as American people have been under. We've been under this illusion that our country supports us and that we're backed up by our country. And a lot of people in certain circumstances and situations know that that's not true. Me personally, being a Black woman, I know that I'm not necessarily supported by my government. And I know that a lot of the things that I experience aren't the experience of the average American that's projected out into the world. I have to experience the underbelly of America, and so do a lot of us. I'm not downing America. I don't think it's bad. I just think that there's a lot of negative people who are in charge. Now, I'm going to tell you, all of these things are subject to change that I say when it comes to this message. And I want you to know that because I'm saying this, it could change the fabric of what happens. But I do feel, personally, in my opinion, that Donald Trump will win the 2024 presidential election. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the messages that were given to me, but also because of everything that's been set up. The reason why I feel like he's going to win is because he is the man that all of these powerful families or groups need to basically get everything that they want to get done. But I'm going to tell you this. In the story of Babylon, okay, writings on the wall, it also brings up Daniel 5. Daniel 5 in the Bible that talks about the king of Babylon and how everything fell. And I'm going to tell you why I believe he's going to win the election, but he's not going to be in office for a full 4-year term. Okay? Now, how old is America? America is 248 years old. So remember, 10, we already talked about. We now have 2, 4, and 8 being introduced into the situation. Okay? The 2024 US election is held on November 5th, 2024. November is an 11, okay, the 11th month, the 5th, and then 2024 is an 8. So if you add 11 plus 5, what do you get? Well, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm not good at math. Oh my God, I'm definitely not good at math. But what is that? Yeah. That's 8. I'm not good at math, y'all. Hold on. So 11 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 equals 24. That's a 6. And then I was looking at Lionsgate as well, 888. And there were a lot of things that happened, right? It drew me to 888. The important things that happened were the Lionsgate portal and Titans occultation. I don't know exactly what that is. They describe it here. So I guess Titan is an astrological sign. It briefly passed behind Saturn's northern limb between 12:05 and 2:05 a.m. Okay. And then you have the presidency lasting 4 years. So listen to me. I'm putting it all together. Y'all have to understand it's going to take time. Trump is 78 years old. Kamala is what? 59 years old. So if we go to Daniel and we look at the writing on the wall, which I was pretty blown by that whole situation anyway, because I was like, why is all this tying together? Now, Daniel is talking about this writing on the wall, which talks about Babylon. Okay? I know I'm not tripping. And if everybody can't catch on, then I don't want to make you feel bad, but you gotta pick up what I'm throwing down. Okay? Don't be scared, y'all. We just being prepared. Okay? So, let me get into this real quick. We need to look at Daniel and see exactly what this is talking about, you guys. So, King Belshazzar gave a great banquet, and all of his nobles were there to drink with him. He was drinking wine. I'm going to give you the cliff notes and let you follow along how you want to. But while he was drinking wine, he gave orders to bring the gold and silver goblets of Nebuchadnezzar, his father, I might be saying it wrong, had taken from the temple of Jerusalem, so that the king and his nobles and his wives and concubines, so they all could drink. So they all basically defaced this temple so that they could drink wine and have merriment and, be scandalous, pretty much. They brought in the gold goblets, and the king and his nobles started to drink from them. Okay. And they were basically praising these people may call them idols, but they were just praising the silver and the gold and the bronze and the iron and all this other stuff. Suddenly, the fingers of a human hand appeared and wrote on the plaster of the wall near the lampstand in the royal palace. The king watched the hands as it wrote. His face turned pale, and he was so frightened. Now, what does this sound like? Okay, pay attention. Look at my face. Pay attention to what this sounds like. Okay? He was so frightened because his face turned pale, white as a feather. Oh, I don't know. White as milk of magnesia, okay? And he was so frightened that his legs became weak and his knees were knocked. They was knocking. Who does that sound like? What just happened very recently? And it was all over the news. Excuse me. What just happened very recently where somebody's knees was knocking and they fell to the ground? I don't know if y'all know, but I remember that Trump had a little run-in with a bullet. Okay? And his knees was knocking and he was on the ground. Knocked him out of shoes. That's what it said. The king summoned the enchanters, astrologers, and diviners. So if you're just a regular person watching this and you think that these people in power do not use spiritual practitioners and astrologers to basically foretell what's going on, you a fool. Okay? I called you a fool. Because just like they want you to think that all of this stuff is evil and devil worship, and they make movies like tarot to scare people away from tarot and astrology, they're using these same tactics to remain in power. Okay? So this king, he summoned all of after his knees was knocking, he summoned all of his enchanters, astrologers, and diviners. Then he said to these wise men of Babylon, whoever reads this writing and tells me what it means will be clothed in purple and have gold chains placed around his neck, and he will be made the third highest ruler of the kingdom. Basically, none of these suckers could read the writing. They didn't know what it meant. Even though all of them got called in, they didn't know what it meant. The queen, I believe it was Belshazzar's mother, if I'm not mistaken, because there's another version here. I feel like that was his mother or somebody. But she was hearing the voices of the kings and nobles came in and said, "May the king live forever. Don't be alarmed. Don't look so pale. There is a man in your kingdom who has the spirit of the holy gods in him." And basically, he was describing that in the time of his father, he had insight and intelligence and basically was able to say what was going on. Okay. So Belshazzar went to go get him, and his name was Daniel. And he found him. Okay. But guess where he found him? He found him as one of the exiles of his father's king brought to Judah. But that says exiles. But if you look at this version right here, I believe this is the other version. Okay. He said he heard of him. Art thou which are the children of captivity? Do you see that? So he's talking about, aren't you one of the children of captivity? So that means this man was very wise, but he was still someone who was imprisoned. All right, pretty much. And he heard of him and he talked about how he can give interpretations. Now, Daniel said, I don't want no parts of your nonsense and tomfoolery. I don't want no parts of this. So you can keep your gifts, but I'm going to let you know what it says. Now, fast forward to what it said. It said, Mini, I don't know how to say it, Tekel and Parson, which means God has numbered the days of your reign and brought it to an end. You have been weighed on the scales and found wanting. Your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Parisians or whoever. So there's certain people who are going to, take over. But this is the thing. Trump can win all day. And I feel like he's going to win. And I'm not saying don't go out and vote and don't try to make a change because, just because things are written doesn't mean that our own personal choices can't create a different outcome to a situation. We all know the butterfly effect. We all have seen the movies that relate to the butterfly effect, okay? And pretty much, if we want to make some type of change, I feel like we can make a change. However, a lot of these things are kind of like, to me, situations that have kind of been written in stone. And it's very difficult to change it because there's so many people like those 4 families that apparently are discussing all of our futures and organizing where things go and what happens, adjusting the weather and, doing things to mess with our psyches, allegedly. They have so much pull and they're not going to take their hand off of the situation. They're going to continue to try to control what's going on in the situation. And I don't care, what they decide to do. That's on them. But when it comes to the power of source, when it comes to the power of God, the reason why, and we're going to look at this closely, right? The reason why the hand wrote all of these things, okay, basically talking about the kingdom's days were numbered, okay, and all these other types of things. Wait, did I skip to a different page? No, there it is. So God has numbered the days of your reign and brought it to an end. This is about America, baby. The way we know America and the way we see America has come to an end. But remember the message at the beginning that I told y'all. Don't have fear. You have been weighed on the scales and found wanting, which means The things that are going on here in the United States by the people who are in power is some tomfoolery and bullshit. It's tomfoolery. It's nonsense. It's hateful. It's hurtful. It's detrimental. It's victimizing. And the people like me who are on the underbelly of society have been enduring it and enduring it and enduring it and enduring it, and nothing is changing. So now the hand of God has to come in and step in and put the writing on the wall to go ahead and let folks know exactly where they have God messed up, because all these people think they're God. So, in my opinion, okay, at the end of all this, basically, Daniel gets the purple cloaks and stuff that he didn't even want. And that very night, Belshazzar, the king of the Babylonians, was slain because Babylon fell, right? This was a historical event, the fall of Babylon. Okay? And that's just what happened. And there was really nothing that could be done. There was really nothing that the king could do to change his fate in this situation. And I feel that this has a lot to do with Titans as well. Okay? It has a lot to do with Titans. And the reason why I thought about Titans was because of, I don't know how it got connected to the situation, but I thought about Titans. Oh, because I was definitely watching a content creator that I enjoy to watch, and they mentioned this book right here. It's called Tools of Titans, a book by Tim Ferriss. All right. And it's about the routines and habits of billionaires, icons, and world-class performers, because this is all a show. America is a stage. The world is a stage, as people say, and this is a show. So these folks are putting on this show as the face of all of the people who are in power and in control. All right. So the Titans came up. And if you look at all of the things about Titans, we have the movies, Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans, Justice League versus Teen Titans, Remember the Titans. And it's usually about like, okay, at least remember the Titans. I know that was an underdog story. Okay. Then you have this show about the Titans and all of this type of stuff like that. Then you have the anime show Attack on Titan, and it was about these giants coming in and tearing everything up. But there was one person who had control over like the Titans or the main Titan or whatever. Then you have the football team, the Tennessee Titans, okay? So many references on Titans. And I know I'm kind of going all over the place, and there's a lot that I'm mentioning and there's a lot of information, but I'm just letting you know that Trump is going to win this election. Y'all need to get prepared for it now. I'm not trying to be negative and speak it into existence, but I'm a logical person. And even if Kamala does win this election, I don't think that it's actually going to do anything to change the fate of the United States. I really don't. I don't think that it's going to change the fate of this corporation, because it's been going on for too long. And if you look back, if you look back at the age of America, 248 years old, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14, which goes to a 5. A 5 indicates time to change. It's time to change. Something needs to change. Okay? If you look at the number 2, it has a lot of different meanings. But the number 2, because this is how old America is, in numerology, the number 2 is associated with balance, cooperation, duality, diplomacy, and relationships. And we were talking about in the writings on the wall intro, the state of relationships. It can also represent harmony between opposing forces and the need to find peace and trust intuition. People born under the number 2 are said to be patient, calm, trustworthy, and tend to be popular and form strong friendships. However, they can also be overcommitting due to an unwillingness to say no. Okay? Other meanings of the number 2, there's science and religion. Okay? But if you think about this, how it represents harmony between opposing forces, that's what America needs. But we don't have that. We have discord and anger and hatred and violence. All right. Then if you go to number 4, the number 4 has many meanings and significance. And in numerology, the number 4 is associated with the importance of building a strong foundation, hard work, and discipline. It can also symbolize 4 elements. And we were talking about the group of 4 in the writings on the wall: air, fire, water, and earth. The angel number, and that's all, listen, air, fire, water, and earth, the weather. Okay. The angel number 444 is said to be the message of love, support, and guidance from angels, and a reminder to trust one's intuition. Okay. And then if you look at number 8, it associates itself with balance, prosperity, and financial success. It's also associated with infinity, or the infinity symbol, fate, okay, which represents continuous balance and karmic relief. So this right here is karmic. This right here is karmic. And I support those who want to vote. I support those who don't vote. I support people having their own autonomy and choosing to do what they feel is best for them to do. That is who I am in essence, because I want to be given those same rights and privileges to be autonomous and do what it is that I feel is best for me at whatever given time it is best for me. That is what I feel. And I don't think that anyone should be controlled on a level so egregiously as the way we are being controlled and manipulated in the United States. It's egregious. It's beyond egregious. It's now detrimental to the fabric of the universe. And that's something that a lot of people aren't going to understand. And I know it's going to go over your heads, but it's the truth. The fabric of our existence, in terms of not just our countries, our states, our provinces, but the fabric of our existence as humans, as beings in bodies with souls, is at stake because of this one funky group of leaders and people in power in this country. And it's not, I know it goes deeper than that. I know it's not just when it comes to the United States. I know it's not just involving people in the United States. I feel like these people who are in power and these important families come from all over the world. And that's why I said that this election is affecting the world, not just the United States, but it is affecting the world. And when I tell you that the people who are choosing to remain in darkness, like the superstition song, who do not want to see and who feel that all of the conspiracies that people talk about and all of the things that the quote unquote demonized woke community are talking about, they don't want to believe it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to be involved with the spiritual community. They don't want to be involved in any of that. So they are more aligned with this goal and this group of people who are in control because it's easier. Okay, is it not? It's easier to remain in darkness and not pay attention to what's going on. Okay? Wash your face and hands. They just don't want to be involved. They want to wash their hands. Rid me of the problem. Do all that you can. So a lot of people have this belief that if they just shut up or stay quiet, or if they don't do anything to go against, the people in power, and they just stay in this illusion of sticking to the program, that they will be spared from whatever this is going on. But I'm telling you right now, they will not. And why? It's because all over the world, not just in the United States, but it's the focal point because we're the experiment. All over the world, there needs to be more harmony between opposing forces and peace. I'm not saying that there's never going to be war. I'm not saying that there's never going to be anger. I'm not saying that there's never going to be violence, because that's unrealistic too. That's also out of balance. But the amount of just purely evil and egregious disrespect and harm that is being placed on innocent people, where innocent lives are taken or ruined by the desires, the frivolous desires of the people in power, just like this king who wanted to go on ahead and take all of the, goblets from the temple. These egregious acts that are being done on innocent people because the people in power want to have their, little orgy together. It's stopping. It's being stopped. That's why you get these numbers. Okay. Also, some significance with that, because we talked about 10 is the number 10. In numerology, the number 10 has symbolic and mathematical meanings. In numerology, it represents wholeness, unity, because it is the sum of 1, the individual, and 0, the infinite. So the individual merging with the universe, with infinity, with source. In astrology, 10 represents the balance between personal growth and spiritual evolution. Okay. Pythagoreanism, which is, I guess, from the Pythagorean theorem, is a representation of perfection or completeness. And it was also related to space. Okay, counting on fingers. It represents the amount of fingers and toes that humans have. And the angel number 1010 signifies spiritual awakening, discovery, and discovering inner wisdom and understanding one's life's purpose. Okay? It just, to me, I know it may not make a lot of sense to you guys, and I sometimes struggle with delivery, but to me, this makes a lot of sense. And all of that Titan stuff now, right? The Titans came up. The Titans definitely came up because we're talking about power, right? So the Titans were people of ancient Greece. Well, they were the rulers, okay? They were basically gods. They ruled before the Olympians, and the Olympians came after the Titans. But basically, this goes back to that Age of Aquarius fact or factor of this equation. The fact that we're moving into a new time, and it's fine. You don't have to believe in astrology, but I'm sure if you have a head on your shoulders, you realize how much things are changing because you see how much change is happening in your own life. And you also see how many people are fighting against change. You may have also encountered a lot of people in your personal life who don't want you to change, or they don't want things between you to change, between you and them. They may not want certain, habits or routines to change. You may see a lot of changing policies at your workplace, things changing when it comes to the way things are happening. A lot of people are talking about all the migrants and people who are coming into the country and all the changes and all this stuff happening. It's change. And it signifies the shift of power from the old dynamic to the new dynamic. And all of these references about titans starts from the originals, who were former gods, okay? They basically ruled over everything, and they were overthrown as a part of the succession myth. Now, real quick, while we're talking about this, let's go real quick to see Trump. Good old Trumpster. He's 78 years old. Another important part of this particular Bible verse, which in the King James Version, it talks about 80. Okay. Look, it talks about 80 and 2 years. 80 and 2 years. Okay. So, because of the agenda that I feel like they are trying to push on us, Trumpster is 78 years old. 80 and 2 years is 62, right? And if that story with the knocking knees is anything associated with Trump, I was like, well, I was questioning, and when I prayed about this message, I was questioning, okay, well, God, Trump is not 62. He ain't gonna be 62 because he already been 62. He's 78. Okay. But if you add the numbers of his birthday together, 78 is 15, which then goes to a 6. Well, no. Yeah, 8 plus 8 is 16. 8 plus 7 is 15. Yeah, and 5 plus 1 is 6. Okay? And we talked about the number 6. Well, no, we didn't. Okay, so let's look. Number 6 is associated with harmony, balance, nurturing, and service to others. People with life path 6 are said to be compassionate, caring, blah, 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 skip. Okay? But it's about harmony, balance, and nurturing service to others. Now, I don't know, because Trump is a Gemini. We got this AI thing talking about Gemini. Okay. But this is a 6. I don't know if he's going to change, because it could be a situation where he get in office and the people who put him there, he completely turns against them, and we got a whole Kennedy situation. I don't know if that's going to be what happens, but anything is possible here. I'm just letting you know what I feel is coming down as far as the message from the Most High. All right. He is supposed to bring in this new nurturing, thing or whatever. But if it's okay, if he positions himself as quote unquote making America great again, which is his slogan. Well, I don't know if it's his slogan, but he said that, right? And he chooses to do something negative that is disguised as something positive, that is going to come back on him very strongly. Because basically what this message is about is the fact that everything has the capability to change if folks just start making the right decisions. If these people who want to keep controlling us in this country, and they want to keep power, and they still want to force the hand of God or the hand of the universe to write these things on the wall, then they're going to get written on the wall, right? So Trumpster is 78. Now, if you look at Kamala Harris, the reason why I said Trump is going to get elected, but he's not going to serve his whole term, I don't know if you caught that, but I said that. He is not going to serve his whole term, because if you look at the Bible verse and it says 80 and 2 years, if Kamala, good old Mala, is 59, she gonna be 62 soon. She gonna be 62 in about 3 years. Is it ringing a bell? Is it ringing a bell for you? Because if she turns 62 in 3 years, that means, by my calculation, and my hypothesis, because it's only a hypothesis, we have to let time play out to test it and see if it's accurate. But that means that this whole situation of the fall of Babylon, this whole situation about eyes that are shut, eyes wide shut, being opened, and people being forced to see the truth in the message that I gave you guys, it's going to happen when Kamala is 62 years old, and she is going to end up, maybe by some stroke of whatever, being in the office. I know Trump got a vice president. I know he got a vice president. But it's something different is happening. Because the structure, because people are going to think I'm crazy and I don't care. The structure of this corporation is changing. So everything that you guys think is basically like, set in stone, it's not. Now, if he does not win, Kamala better be careful too, because everybody's on the chopping block. Basically, I just feel that your protector, whoever it is you believe in and pray to, and you choose to try to be morally correct when it comes to not just the laws that are written, but when it comes to the way you live your life, if you are a person who tries to live by the philosophies of peace and harmony, and you don't want to control people, you just want to live your life. You just want to do what it is that you want to do, right? If you're the type of person, because now we're pretty much done with the numbers. I was just telling y'all and showing y'all what's going on. You need to be ready, okay? I don't know if you've seen the stories about them building this turtle-looking cruise ship or whatever, and different things that are going around. Listen, it doesn't matter what these people in power do. They know that the end is here. They know the end is nigh. And they know that their time is coming to a close. And they are fighting tooth and nail to prevent this. And because they are using astrology and esoterics, allegedly, more than likely, probably using these things to depict the future or to anticipate the future or predict the future, they know what's happening to them. They know that it's all going down. They know the ship is sinking. That's why they have to make their bunkers, and they have to get their special tickets, just like in the movies, so that they can sail away on the ships that protect them from whatever this flood is that's coming in to wipe them out. But I'm telling you, as the viewer, as the individual who's going to also, be affected in some way, shape, or form by what's going on in our government, as a citizen, as an immigrant, as whoever it is that you are, you need to understand that whatever these people in power do, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that is going to change the fate of this country. There is too much blood in the soil. And I'm being very serious. I know I've been bouncing around talking about these messages, and I know it might be a little difficult to follow, but again, it's not my job to do the research for you. You have to do your own research, and you are an individual who is entitled to your own opinion. However, there is too much blood in the soil. There has been too much negativity and evil that has been allowed to run rampant in this country and all over the world. God is tired because obviously the people in power have chosen, okay, whatever force determines who's in power has chosen to take action in order to cleanse the palate and bring the scales back into balance. It doesn't have to be something that you or I or anyone is happy about or enjoys, but it is something that has to happen regardless. So the way that you govern yourself is going to be very important. I believe that Trump will win. I do not believe he's going to serve his entire term. Even if Kamala does not become president, I don't think that he's going to serve his entire term. Because as time goes on and he does not show that he is willing to bring harmony, he and all of his cohorts, or whatever you want to call them, they will be eliminated. Now, I also feel like there's a strong possibility that Trump could get in office and he's going to completely flip on the people who put him in office, and he's going to possibly make some changes that none of us expect. I also feel like if Kamala wins, which I don't really feel like there's a strong possibility that she will, but if she does so happen to get in office, I don't think that it's going to be a situation that's going to be much better than Trump being in office. And the reason why I say that is because it's just not. The reason why I say that is because it's positioned to look like that for a lot of people who are on the underbelly. But I don't think it is, because a lot of this is based on groups. And who's involved in these groups, we don't know. And it may not even matter which one of them get into office, because at the end of the day, they may both have ultimately the same underlying purpose, just it's being carried out or gone about in two different ways. And it could be some type of like thing that's going on between these people who are in power, who may be fighting about power, right? I just want you guys to know that if Trump does win this election, and if I am correct, because I really don't care to be correct about any of this, I just want to live my life in peace. But if Trump does win this election and he goes along with these people who are having these secret meetings about the lives of us, then you better be prepared. And I'm not saying to, necessarily like feel like you have to stockpile and do all these things. Of course, you can do those things, but be prepared mentally, be prepared emotionally, be prepared spiritually and physically for whatever may come your way, whatever may come our way. Because what it really boils down to is a choice that each individual has to make. And the reason why they want to control so much of what we do when it comes to an individual level, because you may see, oh, why is it so important to control the population and all these other things? Well, we know it's because energetically we help to facilitate a lot of the wealth that's perpetuated within these groups, and it continues to rotate and circulate within these groups. And if the public is not aligned with the agenda, then that prevents the circle of wealth from continuing. I just think Trump is going to win because I just feel like no matter what Kamala says, even the people of the underbelly are becoming tired of the whole, association with Biden and everything that's been happening in the United States thus far. I just don't think that anybody wants to continue living the way we've been living. And even if someone is not necessarily a Trump supporter or agreeing with everything that Trump has to say. I feel like a lot of people are just tired, and a lot of people are in the mindset of wanting to go back to the way things were. And when Trump was in office, even if it may not be systematically true, a lot of people feel as if there was a bit more power, or as if they had more power during that time. They feel that things were not as hectic and chaotic. And that is going to, kind of prompt a lot of people to choose Trump, because they want to go back again. They want to wash their hands of it. They don't want to be involved with it. And they want things to be easier than what they are, because a lot of people don't want to face the task of bringing this new reality into existence, bringing our new world to fruition, because it's hard work. It's not for the faint of heart. And a lot of people cannot take the heat, so they are opting to get out of the kitchen. And that's why I feel like he's going to be elected. But I also feel like it's because whoever these people are feel like he is the person who is going to be able to do what needs to be done. Now, they may use Kamala as a pawn, because she would be technically, if I'm not mistaken, the first female president of the United States. And that could be when they may want to use her as a pawn, because if Rudy Giuliani has endorsed her, that seems a little bit like a proverbial death sentence to me. And I'm not into politics like that. This is just stuff I pick up on, and I'm telling you what I feel intuitively. And that's I don't know why Giuliani came out and endorsed her, but I do feel that it's a setup in some way, shape, or form, because this could be a situation where what they're projecting is that Trump is going to win, but then Kamala ends up winning, and all of this stuff that was already going to happen anyway. Because I feel like at some point I was getting the message that Kamala was going to be in office, but I didn't feel like she was going to win the election. So I don't know if there's going to be something that it gets overturned after a while or what. But I felt strongly that Trump was going to win the election. Or there could be a situation where Kamala does win, but the people who, again, like I said, are endorsing Trump or backing Trump are running the show from both sides. And I was getting the energy of Trump winning, because they are still the puppet masters behind both candidates. That could be it as well. And listen, this is just a conversation. This is not me, saying anything is fact, but it's like it feels kind of like Trump is going to be running the show behind the scenes. If there is a chance at all that Kamala wins, Trump or the people who are puppeteering Trump are puppeteering Kamala. And it's like, those finger puppets that have a whole puppet on one hand, and it's like their arms and their head, and then they have 4 more of them on the other fingers. It's like the same hand is puppeteering all of them. And I just feel like when Kamala is 62, she's going to have some type of authority when it comes to the position of commander in chief in some way, shape, or form. But it's still going to, be the same outcome. And they could be trying to just set her up, and they're going to give her the election because of the fact that they want her to be the fall woman, especially because she would end up being the first female president. They want her to take the fall for everything that's going to happen. But little do the people know, they're going to blame her. But little do the people know that she's not going to be, it's not going to be about her. That this whole Babylon falling, this whole United States crumbling and falling, and the towers falling on them, it's imploding. It's all imploding, because it can no longer be contained. So it's imploding, and it's going to look completely different, I feel, in the next 4 to 8 years. But they may want to use her as a scapegoat and blame her for all of this. And I just want you guys to know, when it comes to people who have psychic abilities and who channel information like this, It's ever changing. Energy is always moving and changing. And a lot of these messages I got last night, and I've been thinking about it, and I was kind of nervous about saying it because I don't necessarily like to get into politics, but I just feel like people need to be prepared and they need to understand why the writing has been placed on the wall. Do not be afraid of superstition. Do not be afraid of the old wives' tales. Those are the things that are going to come into play right now as tools that your creator has given you to navigate this situation. So fall back on them. In the beginning, I basically told you guys that source, God, universe, spirit, whoever you believe in, is trying to help you to be prepared to navigate this situation, telling you not to fear, telling you to be prepared, all of these types of things, because I guarantee you that no matter what ships these people build, no matter what crafts or bunkers that they try to hide in, they will not be able to hide. And I feel very strongly that the children of God, or the people who are, I don't even want to say righteous, people who just don't mean any harm, people who just don't want to hurt anybody, people who just want to be able to freely live their lives and they want their neighbors to be able to freely live their lives, and they don't do anything on a regular basis to harm other people, they are not going to be harmed in this situation. But there's an extermination going on. And this extermination is going to spread to a majority of evil people who have been in positions of power, whether it's in your personal life on a, micro level, or whether it's within society and governments on a macro level. They are being exterminated. They're being exterminated. And I do not think that it's going to be an average situation. And the way I'm reading the energy, it kind of feels like it's a toss up, or that something strange is going to happen. I'm getting like this tribunal energy where there's some type of tribunal or this meeting of people taking place, and they are panicking and frantically trying to understand how to continue to keep control over the world. But the world is starting to take over because this new existence, this new reality, it's being birthed. It's being birthed into reality. And Gaia, Earth, is is feminine. It's Mother Earth. And when a woman goes through pregnancy, basically, it's the whole process is finalized when the child is born. And a baby is considered to be a blessing, in my opinion, but scientifically, it's technically a parasite, and your body is fighting it. And that's why, there's so many protective measures that have been put in place genetically, like with DNA over time, that have created this process that we all know as pregnancy and childbirth. The amniotic sac protects the baby in the womb. And different factors of a woman's health can, and I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or psychologist, but I just have 3 kids. So different factors of a woman's health can determine how that pregnancy goes and how, the child and the mother survive. And this is the same thing. We're birthing this new reality into existence, and the earth is trying to evolve and change into a more harmonious, balanced existence because it's out of balance. We don't value nature anymore. We don't value animals anymore. We don't even value ourselves or each other, because if we're not being destructive to people around us, we're being destructive to ourselves. And something has to change in order for the facilitations of that destruction to basically be removed. So I just want you guys to be ready. Just understand that at the end of the day, whoever is supposed to go or stay is going to go or stay. Whoever is supposed to be in power will be in power, and whoever's not will not. But if there's any force that is manipulating that reality in these coming times, it will be removed. And some of the things that I want you guys to understand is that in the message that we were talking about, we were repeating, they are blind and blind and blind to the light of the light of the light of darkness. So there's a lot of blindness when it comes to the light that darkness can bring into a situation. A lot of people are scared of darkness. A lot of people are scared and fear what's in the dark because you can't see it. And I feel like the darkness in this message is basically talking about the fact that we don't know what's going to happen. It's talking about the fact that we are not being privied to what's happening in the future because no one is being privy to it. People who think they know what's going to, even me saying that Donald Trump is going to win, I don't know that. I don't know that. And it could it could play out or unplay. It could pause. It could play out in a totally different way. But the fact that things are happening the way they're happening, it's like, this is completely unknown. And you have to understand that if it's unknown to us on a very surface level, it's unknown to these people who are trying to control the reality and trying to control the outcome. They don't know what's going to happen either. So they're trying to get their ducks in a row and figure out what they need to do. And, it could be a situation where Trump is elected and then Kamala takes over 3 years into his presidency for whatever reason. I don't know if he's going to go down in infamy for some crazy situation that has never been done by a U.S. president in the history of presidency. I don't know if, God forbid, because I don't wish harm on anyone, but I don't know if there's a situation where he's possibly going to be taken out, or if there's a situation where, he goes to jail, because we were talking about prison or incarceration. But there is a reason why he is not going to serve the whole term. And I feel like then something different is going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a situation where there's a vice president, because there could even be some type of association with the vice president if Trump is elected that involves the vice president in whatever Trump is doing. And what? There's not going to be any who's next in line. And the thing is, I feel that's the darkness. That's what we don't know, because I don't think whatever's going to happen is going to be similar to anything else that we've ever seen in the history of this country. And they are blind to, all of that is because we don't see. There's so many layers. Okay. There's so many layers, but there is a beauty in darkness. There's a beauty in not knowing. And that's why the message said the darkness, okay, they are blind to the light of the light of the light of darkness. Okay. Darkness can bring a lot of clarity. When you're in a dark room and you don't see what's around you, your eyes search for any light so that they can adjust and see what's around. That's just a regular thing that happens. That's just what happens, because that's your body being amazing. So your eyes are going to search for the light anywhere it can. And any ray of hope, any ray of light is going to come through and help you adjust and see what's going on. But that darkness was necessary for you to be able to clearly see the light. And I think that's what this is about, is that there is going to be darkness. There is going to be chaos. There is going to be negativity. There's going to be a lot of pain that's happening in the situation. But at the same time, all of that is bringing in the peace and the balance and equality that we all need. I also feel like the message when it said, the light of the world is blind to the darkness of the light that is the light of the universe. So a lot of people in the world are blind to the power of the universe and the power of God. And just like in the Bible verse, sometimes God has to come in and show you exactly where you had him messed up. That's it. Sometimes that's just what it is. We all have been in situations where we thought that we were in control, or we thought that we could change the outcome of a situation, or we thought that we, were big and bad, and then we got shown how small we are, or how insignificant we are on some level. And if you want to say that you've never felt like that, then you're crazy. You're a fool. You're a fool. And that's what this is about. These people who've been in power and the people who've been taking advantage of the goodwill and innocence of those around them and their fellow human, they're being shown exactly how small and insignificant they are. And I mean, it's going to happen to all of us on different levels. We're all being shown this. And if you, like I said, if you are a person who tries every day to treat people well as you would want to be treated, if you try every day to respect people, respect the earth, respect what's going on around you, then this situation is not going to affect you as much as it will affect those who choose evil on a regular basis. If you choose peace on a regular basis, there are going to be things that happen to you in your life during this time of darkness, during this stage of change, that is going to challenge you, because you're meant to evolve. You're meant to become better. You're meant to move forward and do more when it comes to the way that you carry out your everyday life. And it's only happening for your improvement. So it's kind of like you're in a bubble, to where you're going to feel it and it's going to affect you. You're going to see it and you're going to experience it, but it's not going to get you as much as it's going to get these people who are being evil. And when I tell you, they're going to be shown everything that they don't want to see. I feel like a lot of us are going to see things that we don't want to see. So just be prepared. Be very careful about the things that you ingest when it comes to not only your diet and your nutrition, but when it comes to the things that you ingest visually and mentally. That's going to be very important for you guys. Be careful about what you choose to believe and who you choose to believe, because there's a lot of cults. There's just a lot of people who are going to be, because I'm telling you, there's going to be darkness. And there's going to be people who want to profit and monetize a solution to the darkness, and it's going to be bullshit. And what you're going to have to do is to understand that the only way through a situation is not through the philosophies and teachings of some random person that pops up and says that they can protect you from anything happening to you and all this other type of stuff. It's going to be to grit your teeth and bear it, and really focus in on what it is that your creator is wanting you to improve upon. That's what it's about. That's what it's always going to be about. There is not going to be any quick fix. There's not going to be any simple solution. There's not going to be any magic remedy or snake oil that can cause this situation to unfold faster or differently than how it's going to unfold. So you need to be mindful that a lot of people are going to come out saying that they have this solution. A lot of people are going to come out saying that they can prevent this stuff, and only if you join them and you have to follow these teachings and things like that. No, what you need to do is search within yourself for the answers that your creator, that you are connected to inherently just by the fact that you have a soul, is trying to tell you. That is the only way that you're going to get through this situation. That is the only way that you will survive what is happening. There's no outside source or outside structure that will prevent you from having to deal with the darkness of this situation or face the darkness of the situation, besides you actually facing it and looking it in the eye. People say all the time, you got to look the devil in the eye and call it by his name. And that's the only way that it will be vanquished. And I'm being real with y'all because I just feel like a lot of us, we have families, we have, people we love, we have communities that we enjoy being a part of, we have hobbies that we enjoy participating in. There's a lot about life and a lot about the world that we all as individuals enjoy. And I think that those things are the things that are going to be most important for you to hold on to. The fear is going to ruin you. I told you the message that God has sent to you guys. At the moment when all comes to pass, do not be afraid. So when darkness falls, you're being told that you do not need to be afraid. Your creator wants you to know that the world is a place where you can be a part of it. Okay? A place for love. Fear not, my children, for I love you. And this has been created. And it's crazy because the lyrics, when I tell you I looked at the lyrics of the Ribbon in the Sky song, it brought tears to my eyes. It brought tears to my eyes because it talks about so much beauty. This is what we've prayed for. This is what we've asked to come to us. Okay? So you can't be scared in this moment when what you've prayed for and what you've asked for is being delivered to you. This is not a coincidence, and far more than a lucky chance. But what it is that was always meant. So basically what's meant to be will be. And is our ribbon in the sky for our love. We can't lose with God on our side. We'll find strength in each tear we cry. So basically finding strength in each other. From now on, it will be you and I, each other, and our ribbon in the sky. Ribbon in the sky, a ribbon in the sky for our love. Do y'all see what I'm saying? It's going to require for you guys to lean on your communities, lean on your neighbors. We're going to have to come together as a people because at this point, it really doesn't matter who becomes elected. At this point, the only thing that matters is how we work through this situation. Running and hiding is a sign of fear. Doing ridiculous rituals or joining a crazy cult, even if it doesn't look like a cult, is a sign of fear. Stockpiling and getting prepared to an egregiously excessive level is a sign of fear. However, I think that that would be actually, something smart to do if you have the capability to do it. But running yourself in the ground broke to try to stockpile and prepare for something is insanity. I'm telling you right now, there are going to be people who come together. There are going to be people who have different resources in your community that are going to be able to help you get through whatever this is. One person is going to be able to do mechanical work or be very good with, mechanics and, fixing things. There's going to be another person who may be very good at like preparing food. There could be another person who could be very good at maybe child rearing or child care. There's going to be people who are skilled with protection and defense. I don't know what this is necessarily about, but whatever we're going to face, that is what we have to do. We're going to have to come together. And the chaos and dysfunction that comes from us having a survival of the fittest mindset, or a mindset of, putting someone else down to get ahead, that happens when there is chaos, is going to be the downfall of all of us who are on the underbelly of this. And if you are a person who has chosen to live your life right, everything that you need will be given to you in this time. And I know it may be something that's very difficult to believe, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to benefit you to try to wrap your head around it now. That is what everything that you're going through right now is teaching you and preparing you for. It's the darkness, so that you can adjust your mind's eye and your psyche to see the light in the smallest of a crack in order for you to see clearly and get you through. Because there's going to be so much coming at you in the darkness. And if you are afraid of the dark, you will be led down the wrong path. And there is nothing that anyone or anything can do about it once you are too far gone or beyond, help. And I just think it's a valuable thing to consider, to start to put these things in practice now. Not only are we, going to benefit from building up our physical body, walking, eating healthier foods, stop funding these crooked corporations' agendas. Okay. Make them go broke. Stop buying all this fake food. Buy food and cook it. A lot of people are learning how to cook and learning how to do all these things. Learn new skills. That's something that's definitely going to benefit you. If you know how to sew or make quilts, crochet, knit, things like that, that's a skill. If you know how to cook or forage for food, that's a skill. Enhance those skills. And you really don't have to guess too long about which ones to enhance, because it's more than likely going to be something that you guys have already taken some type of interest in, either as a child or as an adult. And those are the things that are going to benefit you in this process. But you guys better be ready. We all have to be ready for this. We all have to be ready for anything. Expect the unexpected. Because I don't believe that there will be a conventional electoral system the way that it's been set up thus far. I don't believe that there will be any semblance of normalcy when it comes to this, election and the times that will follow. I don't think that it's going to play out another 4 years, because it's ridiculous. It's not going to play out another 4 years and then in 2028 we have another election that's exactly the same as it's been for the last, 100 and some odd years. It's just not going to go that way, y'all. And I do think Trump is going to win, and I stand by that. I really do think he's going to win unless there's some weird, you know, unless there's some weird situation where, again, like I said, all of them are on the same hand. I feel like the puppeteer is going to soon be revealed. But I said what I said. I gave you the information that I have. I hope it helps those of you who really took this message into consideration and, objectively looked at what I had to say without judgment or prejudice. I hope that it helps you guys to move forward through whatever else that you may experience in the near future. I want to spread peace and love. I want to spread prosperity, wealth, and health to everyone who comes across me. So, you guys, before you go, be sure to hit the like button and like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe and enjoy your weekend. Don't get in trouble. I also feel like y'all, be mindful of these concerts and these clubs, you guys, and these group gatherings, because that's where they harvest a lot of your energy. That's where they harvest a lot of your power. That's where they're able to enact these big situations and big catastrophes that help them, harvest the energy that they need to kind of like do these rituals on the back end. So just be mindful of those things. Love on your families. Love the people who love you. Give what you can give and don't be opposed to receive. Don't be opposed to give. Just try to live your life in the best way that you possibly can, because I feel like that's what's going to bring us through, and that's what's going to be the most important no matter who ends up in office. But I love y'all. I'm going to go. Again, like and subscribe to catch the vibe. Check out some of the other content on the channel, you guys. I did not put my banner up this whole time. I was supposed to be running that. I was supposed to be running it. That's all right. We're getting to it over here. I really appreciate everyone who has supported the channel throughout the time that I've been on this channel. I really appreciate everyone who encourages me in the comments and who leaves comments to let me know that you guys support. Thank you to all of my beautiful people, my Pisces people, my members, and everyone who's come from my other channels. But yeah, hopefully we can have another conversation like this sometime soon. And let me know, you guys, in the comments if you have a topic that you want me to talk about where we go live and talk about it. Because I'd be happy to do that for you guys and share my opinion about things if you want to know my opinion about things. So enjoy your weekend, guys. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.